Kia ora, tēnā koutou, hello and welcome back to another episode of Thaumcraft 4.2 with Birdtross. Just thought I'd take off the fortress armor to greet you guys today. Got a cool little thing that I've made here this morning to show you guys. Let's get the armor back on before we show you guys though. Well, that is not armor, that is meat. Anyway, so before I go ahead and explain what this thing is, why don't I just demonstrate what it does, huh? There we go, how about that? Hit these note blocks, and these essentially valve closers. So the trick here is that I'm using the Arcane Ears that have been, well, note 0, note 4, whatever note it is. So if you're kind of new to Thaumcraft, let's go ahead and take a look in the Artifice tab over here. And take a look at the Arcane Ear. These are these kind of expensive blocks, 4 gold, and once you get them hooked up with a note block that is of the same note, then whenever you hit the note, it'll generate a little bit of a pulse on your redstone signal there. So it's basically like wireless redstone, which is pretty awesome. But that little pulse, though, is the little major problem that I'm having. The little major problem. Oh my goodness. So in order to turn that little pulse into a constant system, which is what the valve needs to stay open or closed in this case, you need to send it through a T flip-flop, which is what this little gizmo is right here, and then that's just connected up to a comparator because that can detect items in the inventory anyway. So that's pretty much what's going on here. Now what makes this system here particularly interesting is that it's tileable, and what tileable means is that I can put these directly next to each other and next to each other in a continuous line of forevernessness until obviously you get out of range of these note blocks. It's really, really awesome, and this is something that I was wondering whether or not I could actually set up, and I originally had it to where I had an Arcane Ear underneath there, but the pulse thing, as I already said, is a little bit of a problem there. The valves need a constant supply of redstone to stay closed or open. A pulse isn't going to do it for you. So what I'm planning to do in the long run is have these underneath our Essentia system. I've done the measurements and we should be able to fit in everything just fine. We might have a little bit of bunching up here in the corners, but we should be able to work around that because putting the... Basically, I showed you, I think, was it last episode or the episode before last, what I was sort of manually having to do. You sort of have to come behind here and check the Essentia and right-click and open and close it or whatever. And go around and do that for all the various Essentias that you're doing. So it'd be really nice to have a sort of a control panel from which you can control everything. So you'd have your note blocks right here, for example. But the problem with that is that we have 48 different types of aspects here, and so if we had a massive control board of these note blocks, it would kind of get a little bit confusing and just very, very large build all round. So I then realized that you can actually change the instrument that plays, and I'm hoping, I haven't actually tested if this works, but I'm hoping that if we put different types of blocks underneath our Arcane Ears and note blocks, we'll be able to have several different types of basically the same type of note. We'll have a note 5 for wood and a note 5 for sand and what have you. So the plan is to divide each of these Essentia jar setups into 4, which we've pretty much already done just by virtue of the design. Put these 4 different types of blocks underneath there with the Arcane Ears. So for example, you'd have all of your wood ones over here, all of your stone ones over here, and whatever else. And then what you'd have is, instead of having 48 different note blocks, you'd only have 12. And then you'd probably just take your wand of equal trade, or one focus of equal trade, and you would just switch out the block underneath the note block for whatever you need at the time. So there will be a little bit of memory on my part. I think what I'm going to do is have some sort of info panel thing, sort of showing. You'd have to say something like, with the signs and stuff, basically signs, info panel, signs. You'd sort of say 1 equals Fames, 2 equals Victus, and so on and so forth, just to make it a little bit easier when you're getting started. But yeah, that is a plan. I'll end up putting these into the system at some point. It's going to take a heap of time, because not only does it take a long time to build this stuff, but also those Arcane Ears take 4 gold ingots a pop. So that is going to be pretty expensive on the resources. I don't think I have enough gold actually to do that anyways. But yeah, that is something that's going to be happening in the background here, I hope. A lot of things are sort of happening in the background, quote unquote, and aren't really happening. How much gold do I have? Let's just quickly check. 6 blocks. It's probably not going to be enough. 6 times 9 is... what is that? 50 something? No. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it is actually 50 something. That's not enough, is it? Because you need 48 times 4, which is kind of ridiculous. Maths is not working for me. Anyway, for those of you who came to my Thaumcraft live stream, will have seen that we've done a bit of work here on Project Map Wall. Now, for those of you who are newer to the series, basically, we spawned in a mesa biome, and this mesa biome is absolutely enormous, and so I thought I'd pay homage to that fact by building ourselves a giant map here using vanilla Minecraft maps, by the way. We don't have any sort of map mod in this playthrough of Thaumcraft because it's only just, well, Thaumcraft. Yes, so we've got this vanilla map going, and we've got a little bit of stuff going on right here, and I think off camera, oh no, during the live stream rather, we sort of did this and these 2 rows right here, and that took over an hour to get all that stuff sorted out. Yes, so the plan is for the rest of today, by the way, if you're not interested in building or me talking about my personal problems and life experiences and whatever, that is it for this episode. Come back next time, because for the rest of the episode we're going to be doing some building and talking about my life's problems. Anyway, so yeah, the plan is to basically completely change out this entire this island, I suppose, this area, this platform from the research lab, and we're going to be moving that over to a quieter section of the base, and this is going to become the crafting area, which is why I built this here, because I actually want to build something pretty awesome sort of in this area of the research area. So what we're going to need to do to get started is to take out all these various wands and there we go, that's that done. Right, so let's get talking about me. I don't really talk about myself. Oh, jeez. I don't really talk about myself in these Thaumcraft videos, and I think I sort of have a deliberate reason for doing that. I think a lot of the people that watch these videos are sort of interested, particularly in just the Thaumcraft, and sort of me. Well, I just happen to be the dude that's doing it. You know, the sort of my character and personality doesn't matter in regards to the mod. It's kind of a cruel way of looking at it, but there it is. But I want to try and change that, guys. I feel like... See, the thing is, the channel is at almost 1,700 subscribers now, it's a fantastic feat, but you know, how much larger is it going to get if I don't try and pump in some of my own personality and character to the playthrough here? So I'm going to try and inject my own personality into this a little bit more. Let's see, I actually want to... Yeah, it looks like some of these wands aren't quite full, are they? Oh, it's only just a boomstick. Anyway, let's see, I want to do that. There we go. Yeah, so I want to try and put my own personality in this a little bit more to try and, I guess... what am I trying to say? To try and sort of get a bit more of a connection between you and me, because the thing is, like, there is a really good point about this. Like, the majority of you guys... Here's the thing, when the Thaumcraft series eventually stops, it will eventually have to stop one day. It will be a sad day indeed, but there it is. And let's get these guys. Yep, get those. Oh man, this inventory filled up really quick. Yeah, the thing is, when, like, if the series stops, what are you guys gonna do? You guys are gonna leave, right? I mean, the viewership on my other videos is gonna, you know, sort of just drop. I mean, you know, nowhere near as many people watch my Style Answer series, for example, as any of my other series. Let me just quickly check. And so, I want to try and build a bit more of a personal connection, sort of turn the viewers into fans, I guess you could say. Perfect. Yeah, so it is, I thought so. because then that way you guys will sort of stay with the channel a bit more and listen to what I do and stuff like that. So it's 7, and so I'm hoping that by trying to spice things up a bit, share a bit more of the personality, you guys will sort of want to stick around a little bit more and follow my other series and stuff like that, instead of just being that voice on the internet that does Thaumcraft. Let's get some more great wood out, turn all that into great wood logs. There we go. So, the videos, with that in mind, let's get started with that. The videos have been quite slow lately. I believe it's been pretty much almost, yeah, it's definitely been a couple of days. I'm just trying to think about how long exactly, probably like 5 days almost, since the last Thaumcraft video came out or so. Since the last video in general came out. The reason for that is because I have a new job. It's been a while since I was actually in the workforce. I'm just trying to make this symmetrical, by the way. It's been a while since I actually held a job. I mean, the last job that I had, I was working as a lab intern at a lab here, sort of near my local town. No, it was in the main city, but yeah, it was definitely close by. It was only like it's only a half-hour drive or so to the main city, up from where I live. I live out in a sort of a little farming town, but yeah, that was sort of a sciencey job. I did do a sort of a sciencey. Oh, it's not a degree; it's a diploma. Is what it's called. So that goes in 2 blocks. I'm sort of trying to copy this too much, aren't I? Well, that's going to happen. Yeah, so I did a science degree. Was it like that? I think it was like this. Just trying to remember. And then you got to extreme highlight it with silverwood. Yeah, and so I believe that's called... I know I actually explained this in the very first episode, didn't I? It's called a National Diploma in Science is what it was. I'm looking for silverwood. And my inventory's full. Oh! Let's get rid of this chest. That might be okay. And a silverwood. I only need 1 silverwood anyway. Yeah, it was called a National Diploma in Science. It covers chemistry and microbiology. And anyway, I had quite a good rapport with the place that I ended up working for, because during the degree, the study, the studentship of studying, we actually get this cool little thing where actually the top people in the class kind of brag a bit there. Yeah, the top people in the class get to do this, they call it a placement. So the idea is you work in that lab, well, just in any sort of lab for a bit. Oh, didn't mean to do that, but yeah, that's going to happen. Oh, and yeah, I'm out of wood now. Oh, give me some of this wood back. So, one of the places is called, that we do that. I guess I might as well try and share this. I'm a bit hesitant to divulge too personal information, but yeah, this isn't all that personal, but the main place in New Zealand anyway that sort of does the science is this company called Fonterra. And what they do is they're in control of all of the exports of the dairy products in New Zealand. Like, New Zealand is pretty lucky in terms of the global financial crisis anyway, to get a bit technical for you older viewers. Yeah, we're pretty lucky in regards to that, because we actually export a lot of dairy products that New Zealand has actually done fairly well in comparison to other parts of the world. I'm hearing at the moment that, sort of, for example, Greece is sort of not faring too well. That is great wood, right? Yeah. But anyway, but I didn't go to Fonterra. I think only 1 person in our semester went to Fonterra, and then there were like 5 people, including myself, who went to one of the other places called Ag Research, and what they do is they deal with Fonterra deals with the cows and, those things. And then what Ag Research does is, as you can imagine, well, plants. There we go. That's a word. I'm just trying to get this design in my head. It's going to diagonal. Okay, it's like 5, diagonal 5. Okay, it's like not really circular, but sort of possibly. Okay. Where are you? Man, look at that inventory. Okay, let's get you guys. So, Ag Research. I was working there for what? It was just a summer internship, so that was about, what, 2 months or so? 2 or 3 months, I think? So just over the summer. And so that was a pretty good job, actually. I was getting paid like $17 an hour to do that job. It was pretty nice. Oh, that needs to be that as well. There we go. Yeah, that was actually a fantastic job. Looking back, that's probably going to be one of the best jobs that I have for quite some time. But, yeah, the new job that I have isn't actually anything to do with science at all, unfortunately, some might say. But, I'm sort of kind of glad to be working at all, really. It's actually just it's not really too much to mention. It's basically just a kitchen job, a kitchen hand, I believe is the official title, which the English translation for which is I'm the guy that does the dishes at the place that I'm working at now. It's just a restaurant, and so I'm kind of lucky with the place because it actually only just opened up, and if the owners of the place had sort of known the city a little bit better, they might have had people that they knew that they wanted to hire, but no, they were kind of new to the area. The manager sort of came down from Napier and to this little farming town that I live in, so it actually is a really, really sort of lucky that I got the job. I actually got the job through our government. I'm not sure what your governments are like overseas, but what we have here is, well, they call it job seeker support. It's sort of like, I guess you'd call it the dole overseas, if well, that's what it's sort of the street name, I guess, but the government likes to call it job seeker support. In the past, they called it the unemployment benefit, but now I think they've changed the name to kind of boost the morale a little bit. So that's the design that we're going for, you guys over here. And yeah, so I was on that thing pretty much since February, because that's what you sort of have to be on when you're looking for work. And they don't say unemployed anymore because of the whole, morale thing. Yes, so the idea is, you basically, it's like a sort of, you basically only get enough money to sort of live on. And in New Zealand dollars, that was about, I'm just trying to think now, it's about $170 a week for me, was about how much I was getting per week, which is, some of you younger viewers who might be thinking, oh man, $170 a week, man, that's awesome. Now to get a couple of bucks for pocket money, but yeah, that money it actually kind of disappears really quick when you're an adult, guys. I hate to say it. As it turns out, the adult world has plenty of costs that you need to worry about, such as rent and things like that, unfortunately. And so that's basically barely enough money to survive. Like, that pays for your rent, pays for your food, and that is pretty much it, unfortunately. So what it basically means is that you have very, very little money to sort of do anything else in your life. And so, well, I sort of do YouTube as a hobby. Man, this inventory. I sort of do YouTube as a hobby. That was pretty much the one thing that I've sort of been able to keep from my old life. And yeah, so I've been on that thing since about mid-February, and just last week, I believe, got a new job. And it's actually, the reason I bring all this up is because I got the new job through the government, can you believe? I mean, yeah, there's sort of a bit of a reputation here in New Zealand, by the way, that sort of the company, well, no, the department that deals with this, the Ministry of Social Development, and I think they sort of run this thing called WINS, Work and Income. They call it WINS. I guess that's just to say Work and Income New Zealand. But anyway, yeah, there's sort of a bit of a reputation that they don't really help people. Or at least that's what I had back when I was first on it in 2012. I haven't had that so much this time around. I think they've actually been a little bit better in 2015 for me. In 2012, they were not helpful at all to me. I think there was not good relationships between them and the people, definitely. But I think they've improved a little bit since then, which is all good. I'm going to need to put an arcane lamp under here, probably. Right, so that's pretty much this platform here. Now what we need to do is bonk down the pedestals and wands and what have you. that'll be your gravy. Yeah, so, where are you? Okay, they have been draining a little bit by the looks of it, so let's just... I do like to keep them charged up. It's kind of nice to have them as a backup. You know, so throw that in there. Anyway, so... the job, so like I said, it's a pretty basic kitchen-y job. You're doing the dishes and stuff. I guess I might as well go ahead and talk about the restaurant itself a little bit. I was kind of a little bit hesitant to do that because, again, the whole personal information thing. But sure, let's go ahead and talk about the restaurant a little bit. It's a Thai restaurant, so they do Thai meals. There you go. No, the restaurant itself is actually pretty awesome. It's sort of like, you know how when you go to a normal sort of Western restaurant and they sort of have chairs and stuff? I believe they were saying that... which one goes next, this guy? They were saying that generally in Thailand, I think the way that you eat is on these little, kind of little pyramid cushion things. They're kind of interesting. You sort of sit up on them and you sort of sit down almost on the floor, basically. You can't put that in there, goodness gravy. Oh, that's why you've got to charge this up like this, haven't you? Oh, you need a V-stone, that's right. Yeah, so you sit down on the ground, but here at this Thai restaurant they have that, but they, for the most part, I think they've only got like one table that does that for the really old school Thai people that turn up, but yeah, for the most part the chairs are pretty much what you'd expect from your average restaurant, just, you know, chairs, table, knives, forks. No, they don't have knives and forks there, they actually eat with... oh no, that's filling up the wrong wand. They eat with... what is it called? A fork and a spoon. You're supposed to have this, you know, whatever hand that you have the fork in, you're supposed to eat with the spoon in your dominant hand. I haven't actually tried that yet. I've just been eating with the fork because after work, the manager's actually really cool about it. After work, what they'll do is they'll throw on a dinner for the staff. There's about... yeah, so because it was a new place, it's really cool. Because it's a new place... well, that's actually the wrong sector. Because it's a new place... where's my silverwood sector? That's right there. Okay. Because it's a new place, like, even all the chefs and stuff, they're all new as well, right? So, because the place has been newly taken over. And so that's really good. Okay, let's get this off, because I don't need that anymore, because primal staff, yay! Yeah, it's a new place, so all the staff are sort of all new and all that, which I think is actually really good, right? Because then it's not like I'm the new guy sort of jumping in, right? You know, everybody's new, so everybody's sort of learning with each other, which is really cool. That's a really awesome thing about it. So I think, did I already say I'm quite lucky to have this opportunity? I feel, you know, it's a new place in my town that's opened up, and I think the way that they did it is that they actually just looked at our CVs and sort of said, yep, we want that person to turn up. So that's pretty much how it worked. Yeah, so I got the job through wins. Chest is what I was looking for. Basically, as far as I was involved, is that I just... basically, they have the website, and on the website you can look at the various places where you can apply for stuff, apply for jobs and things. So this goes down here in paper. Don't have paper in here. And so I just saw the job on their website. They actually leave out most of the details about where the place is, I guess so that you don't bug the actual shop owners at their premises or whatever. But anyway, so you just apply through the Wins website, and then presumably somebody there picks up who's applied, and then you have to send in your CV. You have to send in your CV to Wins as well, which I'd done. Where's the paper, man? Do I have no paper? Where is it? Where is my paper, man? I thought I had a whole heap. I do remember making heaps for something. No paper. Okay. Yikes, no paper. Well, I'll have to remember that for the next research. Yeah, so once the yeah, basically pretty much the next day one of the people contacted me and said, "Hey man, can you come to the restaurant?" Well, they didn't say "Hey man," they sort of said, that's me paraphrasing. They said, "Hey man," I'm paraphrasing. "Hey man, can you?" I'm sorry. "Can you come along to the shop tomorrow?" And it's not a shop; it's a restaurant. Come along to the restaurant and yeah, I thought it was going to be an interview, like a pretty bog standard interview like I've been to a couple of times, but no, it was actually pretty much a staff orientation. And the rest is pretty much history. I'm now working at this place. And yeah, signed the employment contract and everything. Here in New Zealand, I don't know if you guys have this overseas, but here in New Zealand, actually that guy should be over there. Here in New Zealand we have this thing called, I don't know what it's called, but basically you can, as an employer, how do we get rid of you? Pickaxe, here we go. Here in New Zealand we have this thing where an employer can get rid of the staff basically before 90 days are up. I don't think for any reason actually, it's kind of a little bit strange, and oh man, no, that's not right. Be no like that. Can I do this? Will that work? Let me try. No, okay, it's gonna stick like that. Okay, because I was just thinking, man, that puts the wand right there, so it's like I put it down with my right hand, when in fact I am left-handed, and I'd like it to be on my left. Anyway. Wow. Says the left-handed when every Minecraft player is right-handed. Anyway, I think they're going to change that in 1.9. Anyway, they have like a 90-day dismissal thing. Do I need to get rid of those? Yeah. I'm just trying to think about how I'm going to do this. Well, that should be okay. Do I have any spare balance shards to make these? Yeah, let's just finish off the episode by hooking up this this work table over there. So yeah, and that's basically what I'm trying to say, is that is a part of my contract. Oh man, you actually need. No, we should be able to do this. It's just not going to be recharging. So head over here. I get these turned into iron. So how many is that going to make? Plenty is how many. That'll last a while. Man, what am I trying to say? I've actually kind of lost my train of thought a bit, but yeah, that's what's going on in the realm of bird. It's a fantastic time to be a bird, I'll tell you that. Or at least it's a fantastic time to be me. Actually working. It's been a long time. It has been, as I said, since about mid-February since I've actually held a proper actual job. It is only a part-time job. I mean, but, you know, it's a job, you know? Like, actually, you know, even though it is a job, a part-time job, I'm still making more money with that job. Even making more money off that job than I would with the job seeker support, is what they call it. Unemployment benefit, whatever you want to say. If you're a Kiwi, you know what I'm talking about. If you're an overseas person, as almost every single person is, you're just like, huh? How am I going to get the red over there? This is going to be a little bit of a mystery. Try that. Will that work? It's not going to go through there. No, it's a bit too smart. Curse you as an on. Let's put the red. Or maybe we can kind of snake the red around. Oh, hello. That kind of wrecked things a bit. Oh, okay, that's just going to connect there. Okay. I thought it would connect through there, but no, that can sort of work. Let's put the red. Will it be able to see right there? Yeah, there we go. That works. Well, there is a truck outside. We're kind of going a little bit personal on this one. A bit too personal, guys. Is this too much information? Is it too personal for you? For those of you who do enjoy the Thaumcraft or whatever. Oh, right here. I actually kind of like sort of taking a step back and doing a more, rather than sort of making the series about Thaumcraft, sort of trying to make it a little bit more about a dude that you know who's playing. Oh, that will connect right there, okay. No, we will still probably do that though. If that'll connect that way. And it kind of sucks that most of these, pretty much all of these are broken. Oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna break that. There we go. Let's see. We've still got to set up the piston thing over here, yeah. So let's break that, and there we go. So we've got to set up the pistons for that, but I'll go ahead and do that off camera. So there's a little bit of a disjointed... Oh, it's a little bit disjointed here at the end of the episode, but like I said, let me know what you think. It's actually kind of new for me to sort of kind of go pretty personal on these videos. Just giving it a shot this time around, see what you think, see what I think, see what you think. Thank you very much for watching. Kia kaha, and I'll see you in the next video.